Part 3 to the blue sky, other parts down below. It's not like she just comes home and starts yelling at me. Nothing like that. But her temper can be set off by little things, so in her mind it's always justified. Like an example, one morning I was sick, exhausted from lack of sleep, and she always handles morning baby duties. But instead of letting me sleep and rest, she brought the baby right into the bed with me at 6 a.m. and was talking loudly with baby and letting baby slam the door, bang on things, etc. It was incredibly inconsiderate. Like, do you not know I'm right here? Or do you not even care? So, I said calmly, why did you let baby make so much noise like that? I'm sick and I'm exhausted. I sort of deferred it to baby, although she was being loud too. So, she then loses her temper loudly saying, you know, I'm here, taking care of baby, every morning at 6 a.m., and feeding and changing, and feeding. Just completely losing it. This is a very typical example of what goes on in this house. She will do something really inconsiderate, like leave a mess for me to clean up, etc. And when I say something about it, she loses her temper and throws it in my face how much she does for our baby. Meanwhile, I have done everything else for us for 10 plus years, and still do. So, in a situation like this, where she is the one who actually feels criticized or attacked, loses her temper, but justifies it in her mind. How do I deal with that? I try to be rational with her, not raising my voice, etc. I try to explain to her in the way that MC taught us. Like, honey, I felt hurt when you left that mess for me to clean. Blah blah. But this doesn't sound like what you guys are all recommending. Please tell me how you would specifically handle this. This is why I'm confused. You guys are all telling me to be more of a man and not take any more crap, but then you say phrase it nicer, which is what our MC advises. But based on what most of you have been recommending, I would think you would advise me to say, wife, you are being inconsiderate. I won't tolerate this. Leave this room or I'll divorce you. Or something like that. I'm exaggerating a bit to make a point, but I'm confused as hell now. I thought you all told me to stand up for myself, be strong, firm, assertive, when she loses her temper at me. The only thing I want to mention is that the Valentine's example was not a great one, but just the most recent I could think of. Most examples are more baby related, and even though I believe strongly about something, she is very dismissive, and if I push back she gets very angry and will start being harsh and abrasive, even loud and aggressive. So usually, I don't fight for my point. Keeping the peace is just easier. Someone asked why I stay. I stay because I love her. I love my family. I love those moments where me, her, and our baby are in bed and giggling and having fun. I stay because sometimes out of the blue my wife will do something kind. Like even a simple gesture like reaching out to put her hand on mine. It doesn't happen often anymore. But when it does, I feel like there is hope. On a side note, for V-Day, she really sorts of went all out. I found this confusing and weird, because last V-Day and anniversary she did nothing for me at all, and I was really hurt because I put a lot of thoughts into those things. Well, this year she went all out with a huge dinner spread, gifts, etc. Honestly, it was super confusing, because it was actually too much, and I was standing there like, where the F did all this come from? Why is she doing it? She was very proud of herself, taking pics of the food that she made, and it really was wonderful. But I just didn't understand why she was doing it, considering I ask myself if she even loves me at all. I'm so freaking confused. She says the words I love you to me all the time, but then again, in her Hollywood world, she says OMG love you to almost every person she talks to. I would never use those words in that way. What do you think it all means? But whatever, people keep saying go get I already am. I've read No Nicer Guy, and it's really me 100%. I'm working on it slowly. I really am. And to the person who said, do you talk to your wife like that? I have never insulted my wife like that. I have never so much as called her dumb or stupid or a B or anything. I'm patient and kind with her, even when she loses it. I call that person an idiot because she clearly is an idiot. I don't know if I will ever get the respect back. Then why even try? Why even try to make this work? I'm not ready to cut ties and move on. Not even close. It would take something big for that to happen, like I found out she was not faithful. I don't think that's the case. She just has a lot of issues that are only rising to the surface now. I never even knew how deep her mother issues were until MC. And she told me her IC says she has intimacy issues too. Like for her, it doesn't even cross her mind to want to hug or touch another human being. What the hell is that? What I don't get is that it was never like that for 10 years. We snuggled constantly. It was wonderful. How the F can suddenly after a decade someone get all messed up and change so drastically? Is it possible? I'm so confused. She isn't critical, she is just dismissive and has changed so drastically. It's a long list, but it boils down to pretty severe neglect and then often verbal abuse. I can't count how many times I planned a date night so we could spend one single evening together, and the entire dinner. At a restaurant, she is checking and writing emails on her phone, or even leaves me alone in the restaurant to make and take calls. Yes, the baby changed things 100 times. Because now we have something really important in our lives that is worth arguing about. In the past, arguments weren't as often because who really cares about what to have for dinner, etc. But when it comes to a baby, we are both opinionated. and really wasn't willing to compromise or listen 95% of the time, which has caused a lot of resentment for me. I want to mention something that came out of MC that might shed light on some of this. MC believes that wife went through some enormous metamorphosis as a result of this tough new work environment. Having to toughen up to survive and working within a whole partner was just the beginning. Now there is pressure, people depend on her, she is successful, paid well, respected, and around a lot of nutty Hollywood fat cats and A-listers. It's a very overwhelming thing for anyone to go through. Think about it like Kanye West, guy from humble beginnings who saw huge success really fast, and now look at him. He wasn't prepared for it, as most people are not, and went crazy. He surrounded himself with yes men and is probably not used to anyone close to him criticizing him or saying no. Well, I'm not saying wife is exactly like that, but it's a very similar thing. Taking someone who was shy and humble and giving them all of that nearly overnight and hoping that they somehow stay grounded. So now you have this person going through major changes, and MC brought to light the horrible relationship wife had with mom growing up. She felt mom was never around for her at all. She felt judged and not loved. She felt pressure to succeed but not supported. When she met me, she found someone who loved her unconditionally, saving her from the pain of her youth. And I really did love her unconditionally, until about 5 years ago when things started to go haywire and she started being really abusive to me. Being busy at work is one thing, but never being reliable, showing up late to everything, not acknowledging me, ignoring anniversaries, birthdays, etc., and spending date nights on the phone while I wait inside the restaurant, and then rejecting most of my attempts at intimacy. Well, that's a whole another thing. And things changed. Overall, we were still okay, but things were not the same. I was seeing changes in her that I disliked, like her sudden obsession with materialism. She had to have all the expensive crap that she never cared about. Suddenly our home wasn't nice enough for her. She wanted a big expensive one. She said she won't drive my car because her clients might see it. It's a very nice $40,000 car, but whatever, not a crap box. But most of these I could forgive because all I wanted was her love, but she wasn't giving it. I don't know why. MC thinks she was having a really hard time coping with these drastic changes all at once and just not prepared for it. Wife even admits to MC to being neglectful in the affection department. When we are with MC, wife genuinely seems like she wants to make it work. She says she loves me. However, I don't think she understands she also needs to make some changes to make it work. She keeps saying I want him to accept me. This is the messed up part. I have always accepted her, but I am not going to accept someone who neglects and abuses me, saying oh that's just how she is. I should love her unconditionally anyways. That's BS. I think she wants that. If I say, honey, we haven't spent any time together, do you want to hang out in the past, she would flip out. Like you know how busy I am and now you're attacking me, you jerk. I dealt with that for years. Now, after MC, she is genuinely trying to make an effort. I really believe that. But it's still super hard because she isn't the same person. She doesn't seem to need my affection anymore because she gets 100% of it from baby, who she adores. So, I am just there, like an android living in the house. And to the people who say that I don't allow her to do things, that's not true at all. I have asked her for help many times. In the past she wasn't as willing to help, but now she is. She asks what she can do to help because she knows how much I do and has said to MC many times how appreciative she, even though she doesn't say it to me. But it's not the big things, it's the little things. Like last night I was sick and said I feel feverish. She didn't seem concerned at all, didn't bother to check the temp. So I struggled up to get thermometer and checked it and said, it's fever. Her response was, oh yeah, I had the same thing last week. No other concern. Meanwhile, last week when she was sick I took care of her in any way I could. I even had a friend drive her to urgent care because I couldn't make it. And here I am next to her with a fever and she doesn't even care. How would you feel? So, yeah, it's confusing to me. Because she says the words I love you, but rarely asks how I am, how my day was. Can I get you anything? Touches me, kisses me, asks to do anything with me, or nurtures or cares for me. So bottom line is that I think she wants to be unconditionally accepted as she is, right now, and for me to be positive all the time, never say anything critical. By the way, to those people who think I am walking around criticizing her all the time, that's complete BS. Her version of critical is me saying something like, honey, you forgot to give me a hug goodnight, or I'm feeling lonely, can we spend some time together? I'm not walking around going you're fat, you're a lousy cook, you're a bad mother or anything horrible like that. She really thinks anything I say is criticism because of her relationship with her mother. This is what MC thinks. So, this is where I am at. With a person I love who doesn't seem to, or maybe just can't, make changes to undo some of the hurt she is causing and provide some of the love and things that I need. Where do I go from here? Will not being a Mr. Nice Guy fix this? I feel really sad and so alone. Really, really alone. What do you guys think? I see plenty of good in her. I've been her #1 cheerleader with all the success she has had. All my friends know of her successes. But to change so drastically where I literally go days at a time, sometimes a full week without one interaction with my wife, not one conversation, not one hug, No concern about my well-being, like making a meal or even picking up food or even asking me how I am. Nothing. Does that sound like a healthy life to you? Being a strong, independent woman doesn't override the responsibilities of being in a relationship, marriage, which is to care for the person you are with. I don't receive any of that. Literally none, and I feel like I am dying inside because of it. I'm willing to try almost anything. That's why I am here. I'm trying to separate the bias noise from the real deal solid knowledge with the hopes that I can make it work for me. People tell me I can only change myself. Fair enough. I'm going to keep working on that regardless. But I could do without the unnecessarily hostility. I've been through a ton of pain and still stuck through it after all these years because I wanted to do the right thing. I wanted to be the perfect husband, father, son that my parents always wanted me to be. Of course, in impossible order. But yes, I am sensitive right now. Yes, my wounds are open. I'm losing my family before my eyes. I'm losing my wife, my sweetheart of many years, together since college. I look at my wonderful baby and fear that I won't see her as much if this doesn't work out. I think about baby calling out for papa and I'm not there and it breaks my heart. It's freaking hard. I feel depressed and desperate and really lonely and alone in my endeavor. So, give me a break. MC focuses a lot of our past, parents, etc. While I think there is a lot of merit there, I don't think MC is addressing the biggest influence in wife's life, which is her job and devil partner of 5+ years. She spends 10 hours a day with him, and then 2 more hours talking, emailing with him from home. I've made it very clear that all of these changes came about after he entered the picture, but she just hasn't really broached that with wife yet, and it's getting frustrating. It's a factor, a big one, maybe one that I can never compete with, and if so, I want to know that now. Yesterday my wife was nicer than usual. I'm still focused on myself, doing 180, etc. and been working a lot on laptop, also played sports, etc. But yesterday she offered to make me tea since she was making it for herself, something she rarely ever does, offering me anything, and came over twice during the day and gave me a hug and said, "How's that?" I said good, but didn't give back much, as in getting giddy or anything. I wanted to, but I think I'm not supposed to. I don't know. She put her hand on my arm, also something that is rare these days, and we watched a show together. She was sort of being goofy and I teased her one time about something she said. It reminded me of how we used to be. But even when days like this happen, I can't shake the deep fear that she will lose her temper the next day when I say, "Honey, that was inconsiderate of you to let baby jump on me when I was sleeping and you know I'm sick," or whatever. But whatever, it's not as simple as her coming home and just berating me. She doesn't do that. It's usually her losing her temper to me saying something like the example I just gave, or her leaving a mess for me to clean, and when I politely say that she left a mess behind and could she not do that, she loses her temper. Stuff like that. It would be a lot easier to say, "I don't deserve to be talked to like that," and walk out if she were berating me out of the blue like that, but it's stuff that I am usually asking of her. So that's the frustrating part. Even still, next time she loses her temper I will say, "I don't deserve to be talked to like this. Either lower your voice or we can talk once you've calmed down." The last time she blew up at me, I was sick, in bed, and it's early morning. She does the morning shift with baby, breastfeeding, etc. Normally she doesn't come in the bedroom because she knows I'm a terrible insomniac and barely sleep as it is, and usually the morning is the only deep sleep I get. Plus, I'm sick. Well, she brought baby in and loudly talked with baby right next to me as if I weren't there. Even let baby repeatedly bang on the wall, door, etc. and didn't tell baby to stop. It was beyond inconsiderate, and it's hard enough knowing when I am sick, I am totally on my own. She doesn't ever offer to help me, cook, tea, anything. So, I was upset and said, "Why did you let baby make all that noise? I was asleep." I didn't even attack her, I sort of deflected it onto the baby a bit, trying to phrase it nicer. MC told me to do this. Wife lost temper and began berating me loudly about unrelated things like, "You know I'm up every morning taking care of baby," etc. I said I do a ton of stuff for us too, but I'm not bringing that up. It's not related to this. She just left angry, no goodbye, didn't even let me kiss baby bye, which is a ritual and super hurtful. Typical behavior. There are a million more examples from the past, but like I said, no huge recent blow-ups. Recently the behavior has just been more distancing and ignoring, neglecting, which is sometimes even harder. Let's see how today goes. I think the sample pool is a bit too small to say the 180 is working. Yesterday might have been just a coincidence. Who knows? Maybe she had a good day at work. Maybe she fit into some pants she hasn't worn in a while. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Any advice for how to continue to act? Keep doing 180, I am assuming, but should I ask about how her day was or should I not? She enjoys talking about her day and that usually improves her mood. One of her complaints to MC was that we stopped talking about our work and she felt that distanced us. I agree with her on that. I think she wanted to come home and tell me about her day every day, but because she knows how I hate her partner and how resentful I was for what happened to her, her behavior changes, that she knew I didn't want to hear about her work anymore. It just made me madder. We came this far, and I'm not the type to walk away from anything without giving it all I've got. But now that I am starting to understand what it means to be an integrated male and not a nice guy and be okay with taking care of me once in a while, I started to realize that I was unhappy, unfairly treated, and that I had dealt with it for so long because I thought I had no option, or maybe thought that all people live like this. Like maybe no one who is married is totally happy. I don't know. But I think back to how it was when my wife was humble, working at a normal job, making decent money but not tons, not anyone's boss. She was so freaking sweet. She had good days, bad days, normal range of emotions. Some days came home excited about something at work, other days came home crying cause someone was hard on her. It was normal. She would offer a lot of affection and love, give me attention, and I would reciprocate it all. She would help plan adorable little vacations and find cheap but cute boutique hotels. We weren't rich, but we had a great life because we were in it together and would get super excited by even a dinner date meal at a little Italian hole in the wall. We'd cuddle all night. We had slept together at a more normal level and she would offer the job to at least keep me satiated. The combination of a partner, a harsh industry, a new boss role, lots more money, equals total disaster for us. Suddenly the sweet humble girl who understood the balance of life was becoming a narcissist, ruthless, uncompromising, and materialistic and image-conscious. She started obsessing about stupid overpriced brands and spending lots of money without talking to me. Suddenly our home and cars weren't nice enough. I get that this happens to a lot of people, but I never thought her. I've always made good money but never changed my thrifty attitude and never believed in materialism as a way to happiness. A friend of mine said, "Look, that's a lot of changes all at once, and for most people, not even just weak-willed, that would be more than most could wrap their brains around and still stay grounded." I relate it to what happens when celebrities, actors, musicians make a lot of money and fame at once. They go nuts. Maybe somewhere down the line she will find balance again. I have definitely noticed improvement since seeing this new MC. And I believe there has been some improvement since starting to 180 her. But I'm impatient, and every day I torment myself with, is this going to last? It just really annoys me how she is so self-absorbed. Like when she comes home, if I'm in the bedroom, she will stay in the living room for the last 3 hours of the evening. She will say hello to me when she comes in, but still stay away. If I'm in the living room, then vice versa. The only interaction is the obligatory hello and good night. That's it, no talking. No tell me about your day. And now, after telling her and MC that I am tired of giving so much unconditionally to her, I sort of feel like she is mimicking me. Like the 180 isn't working since then because now she is just copying me. She is very impressionable and has a tendency to copy those in her surroundings. Is that normal? Sigh. I wish she had some girlfriends or other wives to talk to so she could get a clue about how a wife treats her husband. She doesn't seem to have a clue. She once told me a marriage shouldn't be work. I don't think she gets it. She thinks you come home and do whatever you want and don't have to give an inch. Her mom is very lazy, so it's not a good role model, and ironically, my wife is super hard working at work, but similarly lazy at home. Once she is at home, aside from taking care of baby, she barely lifts a finger. I often wonder if she didn't have such a high-pressure job if she would be a much better wife. I think so, but I can't change that. In desperation, I almost write a threatening email to her partner once, telling him how he ruined my marriage. Guess that wouldn't have done anything either. Things have changed, and now it's complicated. I still love her. There are moments where she warms my heart, something for me, or in general, or for baby. I miss her so much and would truly give anything in the world to fix this. How things got so derailed is beyond me. Looking at us now, versus 6 years ago. Crap, it breaks every part of my heart. But yes, there are things about her that scare me, terrify me, and that I don't love. There is pain so deep that I am not ready to forgive her for because she has not given me a reason to forgive. She has barely acknowledged it. She has said, "I know I was emotionally distant, but that's like calling the Holocaust an unfortunate incident." The neglect and abuse were horrific, and I'll admit to holding on to that pain. And yes, there are the other things, like her sudden selfish and egocentric behavior, materialism, and adopting a new unhealthy lifestyle. I don't like those things. They were never part of her. I am battling a huge sphere of influence, her job, partner, Hollywood, and I am losing. I realize now that part of me losing was that I stopped saying anything at all to her. Stopped checking her. Stopped saying, "Honey, we aren't like those people, buying fancy crap and trying to keep up with the Joneses. We are humble and thrifty." But maybe I'm wrong and she just changed. Maybe this is who she really is. Maybe the job actualized her true self, which was lying dormant for 30 years. I don't know. I don't dislike her. I love her. But yes, I dislike a number of the things she has adopted and become. How can I be accepting of selfish and egocentric behavior? Last night I was watching the basketball game, and baby was with me, and we were cheering and screaming with joy every time Steph hit another one. On one hand it was fun, but then I would get flashes of loneliness at times, because of course, as usual, wife was in the bedroom, always displacing herself from the room I am in. It would have been really nice to share that experience together, cheer together, etc. I miss that. But I didn't invite her to join, of course. Afterwards in bed she asked if I wanted to watch something together, and we did. I don't feel like she has been cold. because when she does talk to me it's been pretty nice overall, but I feel like she has been intentionally physically distant. I don't know if it's because she thinks she is giving me the space I want or what. Even though in MC I clearly stated that I am not going to be clingy anymore, but I still appreciate when wife reaches out to me. And MC reiterated to wife to make sure she understood. MC said so what he is saying is that don't misinterpret him finding his independence as he doesn't want to be around you. Who knows if she gets it. To be honest, I really have not stated all my needs, because the truth is, it wasn't until I started having some respect for myself and even allowing myself to realize that I had unfulfilled needs, when I even realized what my needs are. I just went along with the doomed ship, hoping that it would turn around or regain course by itself. It didn't, of course, it got worse. Now I realize that I am completely unfulfilled in so many detrimental ways that unless something changes, there is no hope that we will last. There just isn't. I need all of the things that most people need. I need love, affection, attention, bonding, companionship, conversation, playfulness, support, collaboration, a friend, a lover, a teammate. I need a wife. I don't have any of those and I'm just now realizing it. I don't want to be my parents and stay together in a bitter and unhappy marriage. We get one life on this planet. Why shouldn't we get to experience love and those other things? Am I wrong about this? As far as my comment on an ultimatum, what I was trying to say was that to her it would sound like that, because she deems everything as an attack on her, as critical. You are right in that, in the past, I have not stated things properly. I have been whiny and complaining, and not been strong in my resolution of what I need. I know now the difference. However, I'm scared. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm scared to put it out there. I'm afraid because I know the truth. That there is no way she can change who she is and who she is becoming, nor would she want to, for me. Because the me that she sees now is just a guy who does things for her, like an assistant. Not someone she truly cares for. Not someone she would follow to the ends of the earth or sacrifice everything for. She used to be that person, and the truth is, I still am. I'd quit my job tomorrow and move anywhere if it meant saving us. She wouldn't. So, I'm left in this limbo, it feels like. Taking these tiny steps forward, but barely moving or changing. I guess I feel hopeless right now, thinking about all this. There is a lot I have not said. Other things that she has done to hurt me deeply. Things I completely justified in my head as acceptable but are really hurtful. The more I think about it, the more I realize she is becoming a copy of her mom. Her mom severely neglected her growing up. She is doing the same to me and doesn't even realize it. I have a fantasy in my head that I will put it all on the line and tell her what I need and give her the option to move towards those things or lose me forever, and she accepts, wanting to keep me in her life. But I'm scared that the answer is no. But each day I am realizing that no might be what is needed anyways. It's really hard to cope with. I'm having a rough time, I'll admit it. There is something else I haven't said because I thought it was too personal. Something that has brought to light some of these things, but also made this process 100x more difficult. I lost my only sibling a few months back, tragically. It has been everything I can muster to keep it together, move on, stay busy, etc. But I break down sometimes. This week was especially hard. Last night I sat, looking at pics of my younger sib on my laptop and began crying, deep heartache and pain. Wife sat 10 feet away watching TV and didn't get up to console me for almost 30 minutes, just letting me cry. This is who she is now. Just cold and emotionless. It's not what I need. I think she is blissfully and ignorantly unaware of the depth of my unhappiness, or in complete and utter denial. Lately she has been saying things that lead me to believe she thinks things are vastly improved and there is nothing majorly wrong with this marriage. She talks about buying a bigger home and sends me emails for homes all the time. She picked out a 10-year anniversary gift for herself and asked me to buy it for her. She doesn't get it because she isn't the one who has been so severely neglected and abused. Her biggest complaint or source of unhappiness would be that she feels I have become negative and a downer in the last few years. I don't deny it, obviously. There are 40 pages of notes as to why that happened right here. To answer you, no, I have not been as clear as I could about the depths of my unhappiness. I put my faith in MC, knowing that this would be a slow process, and let MC take the reins of guiding us back to safety first, if that makes sense. I put up with this neglect and pain for 5+ years, what another year or so I suppose to give it a legit chance. But I will be honest, I'm getting to a point where these things need to be said. I'm getting to a point where I don't see a future, as is, and need to put it out there. There are just too many hurtful and neglectful things happening every day. I can't live like that. I feel sad and guilty. I think about leaving her and it makes me sad not just for me, but I feel genuinely sad for her. I don't think this persona she has adopted is truly her. Deep down, she is very shy, insecure even, and kind. She just adopted this crazy Hollywood persona. And the thought of her being out in the world alone, without me, with our baby, feeling sad, lonely, shy, it breaks my heart. Because there are happy moments. There are good days, or at least hours. And those days give me hope. And they make me say, am I being too hard on her, hard on myself? Should I just accept this and move forward, knowing we will have good and bad days? Am I being too demanding for happiness in my life? I know that I'm not, of course, but these are honest thoughts. But I ask if divorce is the easy way out. Or what if divorce didn't exist? We would probably figure out a way to make it work, rather than say if you aren't making me happy anymore, I'm out of here. So, these are all on my mind. I know I've cried a lot in the past, mostly because of her. Maybe she is so used to seeing me crying she is desensitized. But I think a lot of it is the emotional wall she put up with her job. She stopped getting emotional in general. She never cried during movies anymore. Aside from with our baby, she never seems to feel anything anymore. But maybe that's not her fault. This was her way of surviving, to put up that wall. She has said in MC that her parents didn't give her love and so she learned to live without it. Isn't that sad? It breaks my heart that she had to evolve like that, and the worst part is that it's a repeating cycle, on me now, and maybe one day, our baby. I want to give her a chance. I really do. I want to give her a chance to save this too, if she wants. But I'm so torn. Every day is a roller coaster ride of emotions. The more I actually think about what she is becoming, what she has done, who she is becoming, the angrier it makes me. The less I want to stick around to see it. If she becomes like her mom, and she already is, I don't want to be around for that. Her mother is super neglectful and I see her doing the same to me. I don't want that. It will cause too much resentment and bitterness and sadness and anger, and that's not healthy. But I think about being without her, being alone, or trying to start all over. That's a brutal proposition too. I don't do that well alone. I think about trying to start all over and meet someone who doesn't know me and I'm at a restaurant trying to impress them with dumb conversation. And I'm like, what the hell, I don't want that. I don't know. I just feel awful inside. My guts are being torn out. I sent the doc a long email about my thoughts about all of this yesterday, and today she brought up a lot of the things I mentioned, in a constructive way, which I really appreciate. I will sum them up the best I can. 1. My wife had a distant and neglectful mother and critical and tough parents. She didn't get much love growing up. Somewhere along the line this caused her to learn to not want or need love as much as other people. Form of protection, survival. 2. I grew up with a tough dad who I never got have an opinion with, but a loving and nurturing mom. I longed for a girlfriend, wife who I could share my love with, and wanted to get away from my dad, who was too harsh and never happy. 3. Wife met me, I gave love unconditionally and she too reciprocated. We both sort of saved each other from the baggage of our parents. It was a blissful time, many years together, got married, etc. 4. Wife changed job to a brutal industry, got demeaned, yelled at, etc. For a while she couldn't handle it. But somewhere along the line, something snapped and she became a new person, tougher and emotionally unavailable. She completely neglected me after this happened. Years of eating alone, date nights she was on her phone and email the whole time, vacations same thing. 5. I tried to vocalize my unhappiness, and she would blow up at me, saying how much work pressure she has and can't just not email. She set no boundaries for work, and never understood the concept of prioritizing us and our relationship over career. 6. I began retracting, withdrawing, didn't communicate my needs to her, didn't stand up for myself. Nice guy stuff. I tried being even nicer and more loving. Things got even worse. 7. We had a baby. This made the situation much worse as we now had a legit reason to have daily conflict and argument. The most brutal 2 years followed, up until now. 8. Now, she is completely emotionally disconnected and unavailable. She has changed as a person. I am still in pain and holding on to resentment from all the hurt. I am withdrawn. She lives almost independently from me, but she will occasionally make small efforts. Since MC, she has tried more, and sometimes I am open and reciprocating. But sometimes, with all of the pain I have been through plus the family tragedy, I am now emotionally unavailable, unable or unwilling to give back. 9. So it's a vicious cycle now. I am an IC, willing and able to improve myself and change, but I said to MC today, my honest fear is that she is simply not able to change how emotionally available she is. She is not able to start to understand that she needs to put an effort in and give to a relationship. It's not really her fault. I get it. It's her history. But the honest truth that I have realized is that doesn't work for me. It simply doesn't. I need a wife, a partner, a lover. Someone who is emotionally open and available and wants to share in a life with me. 10. So here we are. Wife says she wants to make this work. She says she is willing to try. I get the sense that she wants it to work but doesn't fully understand that means she needs to make some actual changes. But time will tell. Wife is open to finding a new IC, and we are both working on things. She says she will work on becoming emotionally available, and I need to work on jumping to conclusions when she is not like she's a monster, she's a cold person, she doesn't care about me. It's more complicated than all that. I'm trying to stay tough. It's really hard. I'm so needy sometimes. I mean, people need love, and I guess I need more than most. I look at wife sleeping sometimes and want so bad to embrace her, but I don't. Is there a way to embrace without looking needy? Perhaps a quick hug but be the first to pull away, type of thing. My comment, show your emotion. But don't go around crying around her, especially about the relationship not being what you want. Do something, don't cry about it. Final ending coming tomorrow morning. Sub and see you in the ending.